New year, new me, who are you, boy? If you're in my way, you better move, boy. I don't ever miss a cue like schoolboy. Ain't no telling what I'ma do, boy. Ha, 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 ha. I bet you thought you had me figured out, but nah, 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 nah. I'm way too unpredictable.
Hello, welcome to the Tech Disruptors podcast, episode number 20. Jason, can you believe it? Episode number 20.
And we've done many before this, but it's crazy. It's already 20.
Yeah, so we've been, Tech Disruptors has been going since January 1st, I think, was around about our first show there. But before that, of course, we were Friday Night Fury. We were...
we had to spiff
we had
up
a few
our
names.
image. We had to fix up our image a little bit, be a little more professional.
This is true. And I think we've done a good job. I mean, just our faces alone instantly add class to any podcast.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Which, naturally so. But so let's start with a question. What have you noticed has changed in the last 20 episodes in the world of tech, Jason? If you had to make a worldly observation.
Two things. Phones are getting really boring.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
AI is just exploding.
Yeah. It's taking over the world,
a lot of things
man.
we thought of. I mean, you're talking about just this year, right?
Yeah, just the 20 episodes we've been on.
Yeah, I mean, phones have always been kind of getting boring, but it seems like it's going to the nth degree. We're all phones have merged now, like Apple, Android. There's no real difference between them anymore.
Yeah, nothing sets them apart. It's funny. I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm like, it's only been 6 months into 2024, and there's been a lot of things going on. You're right, AI is big, but when it comes to smartphones, so what's the company now then that you would say is leading innovation? Like just offering something different, I guess is a better.
I would have to say it's not really like a certain brand, but it's more like a conglomerate. I would say Huawei's doing really great in China with their OS and their phones, but Vivo, Oppo, and it's not so much innovation as in it's still a slab phone. But I'm saying like the camera system, they're going out, and what they do trickles down to Samsung, Google, and Apple a year or two later.
Well, it pushes them, right? It pushes them to work harder, basically. Yeah. I would say maybe nothing. So they're the ones that have a unique OS take, I guess is how I would describe it, where it's offering something a little bit unconventional to a consumer. And, they're trying to bring in devices that are not crazy expensive. They're not in the $2,000 range like, Samsung's Z Fold 6 is going to be. But, the whole concept is that I think in the last 20 episodes of our Tech Disruptors podcast, I think we can both agree that the world has kind of gotten itself in a bit of a way. And to start today's podcast, I want to start by, when I saw this, I want to just preface this by saying, when I saw this article come out earlier this week, I had one of those moments where I thought to myself, yep, the world, that's it. We've lost. Humanity has lost the race. And I'm talking about this.
Yep.
So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Steam, it is a video game database, could we call it? What do we call it? A streaming platform? Or?
Yeah, it's all those. I mean, you
all
play,
of those.
Download, yeah.
So earlier this week, actually it was actually late last week, I apologize. Late last week, I stumbled across this article which on Engadget, and they were talking about the most played game right now, one of the biggest games on their platform that had over 400,000 concurrent players in a single time was just called Banana. And
can I ask a question? Now, I read this article. I seen this article. I didn't read the full thing.
Yeah.
With Steam, usually you buy a game and then you play it, but it plays like through their app or their store.
Yes.
Is this a game you pay for or was it free?
So that's a good question. I actually don't know off the top of my head, but I will look up into that in a second.
Well,
but what surprised me about this game more than anything was just what you had to do. Now, I get it. sure, fruit games are popular. Look at Fruit Ninja. People play that all the time, still to this day. So the game's called Banana. And essentially, it's what they call a simple idle clicker game, which, for the lack of a better term, is there's just a banana on screen that you click. And people were flocking to this game, literally heading in that direction.
Yeah.
Wanting to play this game because apparently there was a promise of some kind of reward at the end of this. So as the story goes here, you apparently could win some money. I don't know if that's true or not. But what would happen is, so you click on the fruit and you might get a banana sticker dropping into your Steam inventory. And they came in all these kind of fancy designs.
So I'm on the website right now looking at it, and it's a free-to-play game.
Right.
And they are showing items available for this game, and it's what you're seeing there, but they're actually like
fancy,
turning and moving.
No, like oh, nice. Render. Nice.
It's got 9 out of 10 stars rating.
Well, okay, let me show you the little clip here because this might give some context. So this is the game.
I'll say I got it pulled up. I can play it here too, but go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, let's see if I can get some gameplay here. You just keep.
There isn't much to it.
No, I don't know if you can see that up on screen, but it's just literally counting up how many times you've clicked on the screen there. And anyway, like the different types of bananas, like, I think there was a picture here somewhere, but it has a 30,000 member strong Discord. Like, what is going on in the world?
It's got over 22,000 reviews.
But why? What is this game?
We live in a world where...
Why does it exist?
Well, simple is always better. We went from long-form YouTube to 20, 30, 60-second videos. We want everything quick. How hard is it to, you ever heard of WASD on a computer? You play computer games, WASD, and you play a first-person shooter. They're intense. It's a lot of strategy. All you got to do on this for free is click something and you could win.
So I've read a little bit more about it here. So I think the whole concept here, this is kind of like, what was that stupid shit that people were buying? The digital artwork. What's that shit called now? I can't remember.
Yeah, NFTs.
NFTs, thank you.
What I thought about
that's how much I've forgotten about NFTs. I couldn't remember them. So basically, people are selling these accumulated bananas for as much as $1,400.
Nice.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you.
You got a small problem. You wouldn't be able to play this game because it requires a 64-bit processor,
right?
1 gigahertz or higher, and 256 megabytes of RAM. That'd be tough.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the recommended amount.
Will a Commodore 64 work?
Well, it's got to be Windows 7, 8, 10, or 11.
Wow. Okay. Fine.
So if you're an ME,
you're screwed.
You're done.
Yeah, you're screwed. But honestly, so I saw this and thought to myself, what has happened to society that we've degraded so much mentally that clicking on a banana has entertained our simple sense and notion of what's going on in the world?
You know what pops up in my head?
What was that?
WALL-E.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sitting in a chair, chowing down food, gaining a bunch of weight, losing just being big blobs, clicking on a screen. That's all we do anymore.
Yeah. Well, so I know we had a week off last week.
Let's be a little more positive.
Yes, and we know that WWDC, which was Apple's big hardware software.
Is that like a World Wrestling?
Yeah, so Apple fights against all the other smart manufacturers in an octagon, live on stage,
and ends up just buying them out.
Yeah, it's Tim Cook and what's that? Craig, whatever his name is. He's the white tall guy with the gray hair. I don't know his name. Anyway, Apple guys fight.
Yeah.
And then they fight against like Chow Ming Ping from fucking Samsung and all those.
Zuckerberg or
Zuckerberg could be there. I'd be actually afraid to fight Zuckerberg, to be honest with you. I mean, after all the jiu-jitsu training, I mean, I would love to see someone kick his ass though. Fuck, would I like to see that? Just for shits and giggles, why not? Anyway, so Apple had their big WWDC event, and a few highlights from that event. So Apple's finally coming into the world of AI. So for those of you who
they are not.
No, sorry, I have to paraphrase.
AI is artificial intelligence.
Correct.
They have Apple intelligence. They even changed the names. You know it's going to be good.
Which of course is better, because that's how Apple does things. So this big AI-related event from Apple is basically to launch iOS 18 across all of their platforms, as well as macOS Sequoia, watchOS 11, and Vision OS 2, which we'll come back to in a few minutes.
Very excited for
fun Vision Pro information on there. So basically, for anyone who doesn't know, Apple's been a bit late to the game when it comes to embracing AI features, I guess you could say, into their operating system. But that's about to change in this September with, I guess, the release of the new iPhone and the new operating system across the board. So a couple of new things that are worth it. First of all, hilarious photo of Tim Cook. We'll come back to that.
What's interesting about Apple Intelligence is they went through this whole spiel of it was way too long. It was boring.
Yes. Oh my God.
And what's interesting about it, it's got the same stuff that every other company doing AI is doing the same thing. But I was reading that a lot of these features won't even be available upon release of iOS 18.
Correct. So basically, it's believed that they're still to come. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm getting sick of companies doing this shit, where they release a product and then these promised software is not available at launch. Like we saw it with the Rabbit R1. We saw it with things like the Humane AI.
Google does the same thing.
Yeah,
But here's the problem. Google does these feature releases, so you're going to get some new stuff every quarter.
Which I don't mind.
A lot of companies do this, but I think it's our social media and our lives are so oversaturated with technology that these companies are just throwing anything out there, even if it's not ready yet. And sometimes it backfires, like with Apple's, what was that charger they had that would charge like 8 devices?
Although Power, whatever it was called, Yeah,
I mean, and it ends up turning into things like that. But I just brought that up because, yes, Apple's doing it, but a lot of companies do it too. It's not just them.
Yeah, so, look, I understand Apple's trying to get in on the game. Now, okay, 2 things. First of all, I just want to point out 2 fucking dumb things that Apple did. Number 1, rebranding it to be Apple Intelligence. We knew they have to name it their own thing. I knew that was coming. Did we guess what the name was? I think we were trying to guess a couple of episodes
back. We
back.
were, and honestly, people don't. You know what people are going to do? They're going to think AI stands for Apple Intelligence. They're really going to think that.
Yeah. Honestly, I've said it to you once and I'll say it to you again. Their marketing team, they get paid the big bucks for a reason.
But I'll be telling you, but people like you and me, I'm not saying we're different, we're better than anybody, but if we think it's kind of stupid, you can't tell me that all the people that buy those products and love it think it's the greatest thing ever.
Exactly.
I don't
know. And the other term that they use, which I'll come back to, is private cloud compute. When they said that on stage, I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit because it's
is that
so
kind of like the sandbox
ridiculous.
that Google was saying?
Correct. So basically, all of their AI features are going to be locked in this kind of like cloud computing scenario, mostly focusing on prioritizing privacy. Which I get. It makes sense, right? That's kind of what Apple's all about. They've been about that for some time now. So basically this private cloud compute, from what I understand, is going to kind of be a bridge between on-device processing and then also outputting to Apple Silicon servers to do the more intensive, I guess, generative AI kind of stuff.
Yeah, whatever.
Which, again, is fine. But for fuck's sake, who came up with that term? Like, whose idea was it to call it private cloud compute? That sounds just fucking terrible.
It's got hot words in it.
Yeah.
Sound like they're being super safe with
But why compute? Why not computing? So compute is singular. No?
Yeah, I know.
So it's just one thing.
Maybe they're just maybe their servers can't handle more than one compute at a time.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, that's exactly right. One request at a time.
The other thing that really pissed me off, and I'm not trying to dog on Apple here, but they had this big up thing about ChatGPT and Google Gemini, And come to find out, ChatGPT is like a secondary add-on that you have to they have to get permission to use. And then come to find out also they're not paying ChatGPT a damn dime. So
and I'm gonna talk about that. You're jumping the gun, Tuna. You're jumping the gun.
But to me it's like they did this just for the ChatGPT's reputation.
Yes. Yeah.
It's all it is. It's nothing.
So I could understand why Apple wouldn't pay OpenAI. I get it, because if Apple gives you the nod, touches you with their fucking golden touch like Midas, your company is going to skyrocket in evaluation.
How are you making money? How are they making money then?
People will invest now because they're linked up with Apple, right? So Apple touches you on the shoulder and says, we need you. This fucking company said, here you go, take it all.
Well, quick side note. Do you remember how you told me with the action button, you can actually set it up to have ChatGPT answer? So now listen, I did that, but I hit a paywall.
Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate it to you now.
After so many queries, it says, sorry, you need to pay for more.
I haven't had that issue.
I had it twice now.
Let's give you an example. I'm going to see if I can do this live. I know this is... Oh, hang on. Wrong button.
Do you have Scarlett Johansson?
So tell me a little bit about Toronto, Ontario.
Toronto, Ontario is Canada's largest city and a major cultural and financial hub. It's known for its diverse population, vibrant art scene, and iconic landmarks like the CN Tower. The city is a melting pot of cultures with a wide range of cuisines and festivals throughout the year.
Where would you recommend I go and eat?
Toronto offers a lot of great dining options. If you like diverse food, you could try Kensington Market for its eclectic eateries or Chinatown for authentic Asian cuisine. For upscale dining, Yorkville is known for its fine restaurants.
Now, okay,
so what's interesting is I did that, but I was asking it like the weather, and I'd say, okay, tell me the weather more sarcastically.
Yeah.
And I started getting like those kind of personalized, but I'm telling you, after about 5 minutes doing that, it told me that I couldn't do it anymore.
You broke it.
It was like, sorry, you hit a paywall. You ran out of credits or whatever.
Listen, I don't care. Like, I think if that little preview, which is available through the ChatGPT app, if you have a look at it, you'll be able to figure out how it works. But if that is how good OpenAI's voice assistant is, it's fucking crazy.
Now, hold on. I tried the same thing with Gemini, and it was almost identical. Not like the information, but the way it talked. Gemini is really good too, but some people don't give it as much credit.
Yeah, and that's fair. And look, I mean, I'm going with I'm just using OpenAI primarily because I know that that's what Apple has decided to give the golden touch to. It's an interesting
thing. Not a golden shower. Golden touch,
not a golden shower. Sorry, golden touch. Yes, for the record, golden shower is a whole other thing. If Apple does that to you, I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. Who knows?
I don't want to know.
But getting back to what you were saying about OpenAI and ChatGPT not receiving any, there's no money involved in this deal. Like, I literally the day after it was announced, OpenAI shares fucking through the roof.
Oh yeah,
absolutely through the roof. Because again, Apple said, "Hey, this is who we are putting our, this is the horse we're backing. Let's go for it."
It's like Oprah or MKBHD. Anything they recommend usually sells a lot or gets a lot of publicity. So.
This is true. I love how you used Oprah there. That was good. Well done.
You get a car and you
get a car. Now, the other big part of it is iOS 18. So big changes coming to Apple's iPhone OS.
Hold on. Did you install the beta?
No.
I did.
I have not. Yes.
So I have. But anyway.
And your phone is broken now.
No, it's actually been fine, but I don't use it that much.
So to put it simply, all the things that you wish you could have done on your iPhone, you're probably going to now be able to do. So we're talking more customization. You can now move icons wherever you want it to be. There is themed icons based on, what do they call it? Shading or some fucking ridiculous name.
Like Android. That's so crazy.
Redesigned photo app, text iMessage. Yeah.
Everyone in my office has an iPhone, and I mentioned this to him. I said, hey, iOS 18 is coming out. and you're going to be able to move your icons wherever you want. And they're like, I can already do that. No, you can't.
No,
it's in line.
No.
So I kind of explained it, like showing them my phone. They go, why the hell would I want to do that? Like, I don't think anybody who's an iPhone user even
no one cares. So here's the funny thing.
Apple's out of ideas. That's what it is. They're out of ideas. So they're throwing this in there saying
unlocking all the doors. That's what they're doing. They're unlocking all the doors. Just give up the fucking keys. We're done.
I don't know about that,
but I've been following it on X. People that did install the beta, and a few people have been saying that they don't really love the whole themed icon widgets thing, saying that it kind of makes it look ugly, which beta. I could get. Yeah, I could understand that. I could understand why you would think that. And again, it is beta, so we don't really.
Yeah,
know.
But it's only ugly if you make it ugly.
Exactly. I mean, but the thing is, okay, so traditional iPhone users, not us tech enthusiasts, are they going to take the time to do that?
No,
absolutely.
They don't. They haven't had it for so long. Now, I would say a new iPhone user coming from Android might do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think the majority of people who have an iPhone, which is in the United States, is like 60%. They don't care. Yeah. And I'm not saying my small 10 people in my office that have one are a good sample size, but that just goes to show you that people don't care. You can move your apps around. They really don't care.
So one of the things I think that was interesting that they talked about is we know that they've had satellite communication in their iPhones for some time, but now you're going to be able to use it with the Messages app in case of an emergency. Now, I actually think this is a good idea. I've said all along that Apple is at the forefront when it comes to personal security and safety. When it comes to like their Apple Watch and detecting, irregular heartbeats and all that kind of stuff. But
or if you're on a roller coaster, right.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the whole satellite communication thing, which I think a lot of Android developers are starting to jump on now, basically is in case you need it. Cellular service is flighty sometimes. It can't be found in every location. But so should something happen, having access to be able to contact somebody is obviously pivotal. I think that's a good play for Apple. A lot of this other stuff is aesthetic. It's new effects in iMessage and eventually stuff. RCS. Yeah.
Now, interesting though, the satellite stuff. A lot of these Eastern companies like Oppo, Vivo, Huawei, they're already integrating that in their parts of the world. So it's only a matter of time before Google does it. I think I read somewhere that Google is already laying the APKs and the framework for satellite communication.
Yes, which I imagine might come on this Pixel, right? Pixel 9?
Right. And you kind of brushed over RCS. Interestingly enough, RCS was like an afterthought in this thing. They didn't even mention it. They just said it at the bottom of the screen or something. Well, I have beta, and it's not available yet. Now, there are some people out there that figure out a way to turn it on. I don't know how, but I found out you have to be on AT&T or T-Mobile, but not an MVNO.
Right, okay.
And they're using a universal profile. It's not the same one that every other Android user is using. So it's not encrypted. Now, I know it's beta, but if Apple goes forward with this version of RCS, it doesn't show read receipts. It's not end-to-end encrypted. What the hell is the point?
Yeah, exactly. Fair point, right?
We push of security. Now, I'm hoping that's going to change. They're going to support something a little more. I don't care if they keep it green, but I don't know. I think RCS is a big joke right now. And
I think Apple's trying to pretend like it doesn't exist. That's what my theory is.
It's exactly what it is. They're doing it they're putting that RCS, the minimal they possibly can, just to make the EU happy and move on.
Now, can we talk about iPad? Now, listen, iPad OS is stagnant, and it has been for a while. But fuck me, I want this calculator app, and I wish I had this math notes app when I was in high school, because I think that this would have saved my life.
Now, hold on.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff, Apple's really good at marketing things you think you need, but you really don't. Now, there's an ad, I don't know what streaming service I watch. I swear to God, every commercial break, they show someone riding a bike and a bird's attacking them, and then they fall, and their Apple Watch says, did you fall? Did you crash? How many times are you going to be riding a bike with a bird's attacking you? I mean, and this math app is really good, but honestly, teachers aren't going to allow this to happen in class.
No. Yeah.
I mean, it's I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just think they overemphasize how well it's going to work, for one, because, it's always good in a show. And is it really something? I don't know. I don't want to bash it. I think
I just wish I had it.
But right now I would never use it. At my age,
no.
I would never.
Fuck. I mean, I don't even do math. I use my calculator for everything. But when I was in high school, I was terrible at math. Like absolutely terrible at math. But all of a sudden, if I'd had this when I was in school, I think I might be able to figure it out, right? I know we always used to look, I don't know how old you are, Tuna. I'm 21. But the answers used to be in the back of the book. And you would actually flick through and go, oh, okay, awesome. I can see the answer.
No, when I was in math, I didn't like math, but I was pretty good at just plugging numbers into formulas. So I was actually good at math. I just didn't like it. So no, I didn't cheat.
Well, I didn't cheat. I just used it to get the answers. It's different.
I'm just
But
kidding.
It's a really cool idea. Basically, you put in any math equation and the Math Notes app will solve it.
But why does this make iPad OS that much better? It's still a half-baked, not quite full computer OS.
No, it's not. I think they're trying to find features that separate the iPad from other tablets. And I think, this is where I think Apple needs to do. Apple needs to look at their app ecosystem and their home branded apps, the Apple apps. Start putting innovation into those. The iPad
because
OS
Google dominates Apple. Like
exactly.
Most people, so if they start making, I see what you're saying. So that's what they're trying. They're trying to invest more heavily on their own apps instead of Google's. Okay.
Well, and the thing is too. I mean, the iPad OS is not going to change. It's going to stay that way, as is the iPhone OS. It's not going to change that.
And can I be honest with you? Is it really that bad? Like,
no.
The only thing I don't like about iPad is the new one's got the M4, and it's like $1,500.
Yes.
You can buy a hell of a laptop that can do probably more.
Yeah.
But like the Samsung S9 Ultra, I mean, that thing is awesome.
It's beautiful.
I love DeX mode. People are like, oh, it's half-baked.
Yeah.
It's not half-baked. It's been around for a while, but it's still not a full computer either.
No, 100%. And look, I mean, at the end of the day, if it stays the same, fantastic. But like I said, I think that's the play now for Apple. Start investing money into their apps, some of their ecosystem, some of the apps that are already pre-installed on the iPad. Make them do something that other tablets and apps don't. And that Math Notes app, fucking chef's kiss, man. I think that's a great play.
I'm telling you. Watch Samsung. They're going to have one this year or next year with the TED.
Yeah.
I hate to say this. People think like, oh, we copy. Apple's probably been working on this for a while, and if Samsung releases an app that's pretty good this year, that means they've been working on it for a while too. They can just throw the shit together and stick it on.
This is how it'll go. Be like, Bixby, help me solve this equation. The weather in Chicago is.
I actually enjoyed Bixby more than Amazon's assistant. I like Bixby much better, but that's just me.
So, we won't drone on this much longer, but, Mac OS Sequoia, WatchOS bringing in some, smart stack photos, face use intelligence.
Yes. And now to make you more lazy by letting you restart and stop on pause days so you can keep your trophies. Lazy.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I want to just pivot for a second, and I want to talk about the Vision Pro.
This is the most amazing thing because I'm telling you now, Vision, the Vision device is the future. Look at that.
So Apple has reportedly given up on the Vision Pro 2 and is now going to focus on a cheaper model. Well done, Apple.
Nope. So it's going to fall the way of the 5C.
Oh, you reckon it's going to be killed off?
Because you don't need a cheap version. You have the Quest. And the Quest is dominating. Every app they copy off Apple, it does the same thing, if not better.
So they've just started selling the Vision Pro in Canada, and
you bought 3 of them, right?
No, I wanted to look up how much it was going to cost. So I went onto the Apple website. Fully maxed out version of the Apple Vision Pro
in Canadian
dollars would be $7,500 for this headset.
You know what I would do instead with that $7,000?
Yeah, buy a fucking car. I didn't like what
EV prices are dropping so much. You could probably get a damn EV for that price.
Yeah, Fisker.
Well, I wouldn't buy a Fisker because they're kind of gone now. But no, the Chevy Bolt, even Teslas are under 20 grand now.
I could buy a good used car with low miles for $7,500.
Yeah, get yourself a little Honda Accord.
Yeah, so Apple's basically, I think they've figured out, we put too much R&D into this and we need to make some money back, but people aren't buying it.
It's not what they wanted. I'm telling you, Tim Cook wanted the glasses like this,
Yeah.
That was lightweight and did all that. And it's not possible right now.
I mean, we could be like other YouTubers and just get our fans to buy it for us by donating money and then return it. We could do that. That way we have it. So if there's any people that are listening out there,
let me I know I don't want to jump off too far off subject. Yes. But yeah, we talked about this at length. I'm not a big fan of YouTubers asking for money to buy products.
Correct.
I am okay with, I don't know if you saw that video from what's his name, John?
Yes.
With the brain, like that's different. He went through some severe medical and trauma, and he's asking for assistance. He's not begging for a device. Although he did ask Apple to help him out, but still, he's asking companies he's worked with before. That's a little different. I just wouldn't have put that out there.
I agreed. I actually saw that earlier today. It's kind of a bit sad what's happening.
Oh my God, I didn't think it was that bad, but he's a storyteller. That dude's made to be on YouTube.
100%. So anyway,
but I am starting to GoFundMe for a facial reconstruction.
Wow. You know what? Maybe we should do Face Off. Remember that movie with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, we can swap faces.
Swap faces, amazing.
Well, I don't want you, if you do that, all the ladies be knocking on the door, you know?
This is true. This is true. I always laugh at that movie about how much we have to suspend our belief to make that movie work.
I know.
Like,
isn't that most movies?
Yeah, like John Travolta.
Fast and Furious had 2 Chargers dragging like a.
That's true. They also went to space, so there's that.
Was a DeLorean? Was a Fiero or a DeLorean or something?
Who the fuck knows? I seriously. I washed my hands of that franchise after the second one, or the third one. Sorry.
Hey, that's family. You don't mess with family.
Tokyo Drift. I don't care what anyone says. The best Fast and Furious movie. Prove me wrong.
Who was it? Lil Bow Wow?
Yeah.
There you go. That's all you need to say.
That was great. Anyway, so Apple has decided to make a cheaper version of their Vision Pro, which, makes sense. I mean, it was originally in the United States, it sold at $3,500, which is $8,000 Canadian, apparently. But they're saying that they want to make one that's about $1,000 cheaper, so somewhere between $1,500 and $2,500.
Still too much.
Maybe this will be like a S model. Is that possible?
Well,
they'll bring back the S?
2,500. I would say more like a 1,500 would be better. But did you hear Quest? Meta's working on a Quest 3S, which is like a cheaper version. It's already only $500. I mean, how much cheaper can you get?
I mean, I think Apple went too much on this one. They went, let's just make the best possible thing we can make. And fuck the price, fuck how much it costs. Let's just see what happens.
Let me ask you something. You go to Toronto to visit, and you see a handful of people walking around town with a Vision Pro on their face. What do you think? What are you thinking in your head? I'm just asking a question.
Okay, so this is a true story. So I had never seen anybody wearing a Vision Pro, but as you know, I went to England a month and a half ago. I saw someone walking down the street in London.
And what was your first impression?
I went, fuck, that guy's wearing a Vision Pro. He looks ridiculous. But then I was like, I'm also a little bit jealous. I'm a little bit jealous that he has one and I don't. I would like to just try it.
Here's what I would think. I wouldn't be jealous. I'm thinking it's basically a VR headset. Why do you have it outside?
Yes. And this guy, just for the record, this guy was going to town. He was walking and moving things. Like it was.
Are you sure he wasn't just doing it on purpose?
No, like honestly, like it legitimately was very fucking. It was awesome.
My thing is, someone wearing around town doing that, they want attention.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe mom and dad didn't give enough attention growing up.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, look. I still don't think this is the product that you need, and I would almost say don't buy this particular product. I want to try it.
I'm just not in the Apple ecosystem. I don't have any use for it.
No. I mean, I mean, we talked about this previously on this show, how it came out hot out of the gate. Absolutely. People were buying it up. People were saying it's amazing, but $3,500 is a lot of money.
Well, I did see, obviously, Vision OS 2 or whatever they call it is coming out. Steam is going to make their VR library available to it, which is fantastic. But there's already devices out there that are a fraction of the cost that can do the same damn thing.
Yeah, exactly. And look,
and I'll be honest, my Quest, I can, for a while there, I was plugging it into my computer to get the best graphics. Now you can use virtual desktop. And it's amazing. There's like no latency at all. It's crazy.
And again, I see why this product exists. Is it going to replace everybody's smartphone? Maybe that's what Apple has envisaged, but not yet. That's exactly right.
I think if they look like this and have like the Google Glass and this, I think that's the future. That's what I want to see, at least. That's my.
I would love to. You know what I'd love to see? A partnership between Meta and Apple. So using the Ray-Ban Meta sunglasses and figuring out a way to make that happen.
They hate each other.
Pro. I know they do. I know they do.
I bet you Facebook would work with Google before they work with Apple.
Well, then maybe even just buy up Nreal and just fucking take their proprietary stuff and go, okay, how do we make this work for a Vision Pro? Look, I'll be honest with you, people, you'd look ridiculous still. I mean, you look like you fucking...
Look, Google bought Focals by North and they didn't do jack with, at least not that we've seen yet.
No, and that's exactly right. I mean, we don't know what happened with those. Maybe they will make it.
Those were amazing.
I know. I remember Michael Fisher talking about it. Yeah.
Brilliant Labs. Frame. I canceled.
Yes. Ooh, why is that?
Here's why. So it's exactly what I want, but I have a prescription that they can't put in their lenses.
Oh.
And I wasn't aware that the actual display is in the lens.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
I think it's something like that. So I can't use it. So I emailed him. He's like, "Why do you want to cancel?" And I said, well, here's my prescription. Can you do this? He goes, no, we can't do that. That's why I'm canceling. Okay. Here's your money back.
Yeah. And I mean, look, it's unfortunate. I mean, again, this is another issue that people face when it comes to this kind of thing, right? It's like, if you wear optical lenses, can it work in a VR headset successfully anyway?
My glasses have worked fine with mine. Even Google Glass, I bought the actual prescription frames that came with it and got my lenses in there, and it was perfect.
Yeah. But you looked crazy when you wore it.
Oh, I didn't care.
Okay, so let's talk about a hilariously funny product release that's coming out very, very soon. So you know who Insta360 is, I'm assuming, right?
I have I have one of the reaction cameras, the latest one.
Okay, so they've just released the Insta360 Go 3S. Okay, can I just talk about why I find this so funny? It's this picture.
It's kind of a dumb thing.
So okay, so it's a small 4K action camera and it's compatible with Apple's Find My Network. Okay, big fucking whoop. Why the fuck would you strap this on your pet? What possibly vision could you record that's worth keeping?
I've seen people put GoPros in their dogs before, or cats, and it's okay, but they run around so much, it's like it makes you dizzy and sick to your stomach.
I mean, honestly, like if this is the marketing image for this 360 3S, Go 3S, cat lovers might rejoice, but I look at this and go, this is a fucking dumb idea.
If you like action camera, I think the selling point is it's really small.
Yes, and I mean, look, use case aside, you can kind of see the size here of how small it is, based on the phone to thing here.
Insta360's been knocking out of the park. Their products are
that
action camera I have is amazing.
Yeah, and look, I'm a big fan of Insta360. I don't think this is a camera that I would buy, maybe not for a pet, but I would use this for recording vlogs and maybe even using it to record this podcast.
Well, if you're a mountain biker and you go in the mountains, you could strap it on and do something like that too. I mean, something
cool. I mean, if you have a YouTube channel where you're one of these adventure enthusiasts and you're fucking surfing 20-foot waves off the coast of South Africa.
Oh, I just go to my local library and read a book with it strapped to my chest.
Well, I actually tried this, so I just got into the bathtub and filled the water as high as it would go and start splashing around. Oh. And I wanted to see how it looked. It just literally looked like water. I don't think I'll be starting a YouTube channel on that anytime soon.
That's more of an OnlyFans page, I believe.
Yes, correct. But I will say this much. So 4K quality, 4K resolution in that camera, that's what I'm getting at. And that's what I think is a good play. I think that's a really cool concept. Because remember, 4K videos, even just 2 years ago, used to be these fucking monstrosity cameras. And now, look how small we've got, right?
Yeah.
We've got the ability to carry a high quality video camera anywhere we want to go. And it has a little pod and a housing, and you can strap it to whatever you want.
Which
and
is
you can
pretty
do these
common with this,
things.
because the last generation, it was the same thing. It was a little bit bigger, but it
Yeah.
like snapped into a little shell and everything else.
Yeah.
It's got magnetic holders and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
And look, for $400 to $430,
$400? No, that's...
well, it's pricey, but if you think about what you're getting, you're getting a 4K high quality video camera that you can pop in your pocket and go wherever you want to go. Now, arguably, I know what you're going to say, but I've got my phone to do that, and phones can do 8K. But
8K. Yeah, we need that.
sometimes you don't need your phone, right? And you can just use this, right?
Well, and phones do a lot more. So if you break your phone, you're out a lot more money and a lot more
correct
usage. But I think, I don't know. I think $400 isn't bad, I guess, for what you get.
Yes, 100%. I honestly think that it's an interesting proposition for somebody that's into tech and wants to figure it out and go from there. Now, another big product. I want to just pivot now into some product releases because we've got a lot of big products coming out in the next week. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this, first of all. Oh, it started playing without me wanting it to. So this...
Hello, Moto.
Okay. So
how much? Okay, we talked about how phones are getting boring, right? So
yes.
Samsung said, "Hey, we're going to sell a $2,500 phone, the Fold 1," and it was awesome when it came out. It had its issues, but it was something different.
Yes.
What the hell was that ad? That didn't.
It was amazing. Are you kidding me? It was fucking amazing. I loved that ad.
All they showed me was the same thing everyone else is doing: a phone that flips open. What is so different about it?
Well, I mean, look, last year you and I both had the Motorola Razr for a little bit of time.
It wasn't bad.
And it wasn't a bad device. The cameras weren't fantastic, bit potato-ish, but the form factor was good. I mean, sure, every time I opened the device, the hinge crunched, which I couldn't figure out why.
Let me ask you though, Motorola was the 40? Is that what that was?
Yes.
They called it something
40
different
Ultra,
here.
yeah.
But it flipped open. The Flip
Yes.
5 flips open. All these things do the same thing. The only thing that's different is the screen on the outside. That's really the only difference between these. Well, and the processors and stuff, but generally they're all the same, right?
But and I always say this when Motorola releases a new Razr
I know
product, that fucking nostalgia gets people because the Motorola Razr, the V3, in almost every single person's book of someone that's over the age of 30, they will tell you it was their favorite phone ever.
Which phone?
The Razr, was it the V3? I think it was called.
I'm only 21, so I wasn't around.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, sorry
but that thing was fucking indestructible. It was indestructible. It had decent battery.
It was unique. It was thin, and it was you could snap it open with your hand, like Michael Fisher always does in his videos. He wants that again. Yeah, I get it.
Now, look, I think again, Motorola's going to play up the nostalgia thing, and maybe this time they get it right. Maybe they have a phone.
Here's the problem with Motorola. Their cameras are always terrible. Not terrible. Just not up to par with the rest of the competition.
Well, okay, so their latest Edge series phones that are coming out, I think they're the 50. I don't know. Maybe I got that wrong.
I think it's the 50 Ultra. It's not here in the US yet.
So early reviews of that have people saying, you know what? It's pretty fucking good, the cameras.
You know what I want with that phone? I want the wood phone.
The wood one, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You just want to say you've got wood in your pocket? Is that what it is?
Yeah. What's in your pocket?
Fair.
Oh, it's wood. Oh,
it's wood, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, yours is more like a soft, thimble wood. Mine's more a hardwood, but I mean, we won't go there right now.
I don't even know what you just said.
Anyway, Motorola Razr, it's looking like it's going to be priced around the same, which was, I think, $999 US, or $690. Yeah, sorry, $999 US for the rate for the Plus version.
The other one, right?
And $699, which is good. At least they're not going with a price raise, which we'll come back to.
Snapdragon.
They're saying it could be either Gen 3S or Gen 2. They don't know yet. There hasn't been any confirmed.
Here's another thing that bothers me about these phones that get released towards the end of the year is that they use the same processor that came out in January with Samsung or whoever.
Yes.
And then you got 2 more months and then the new one's out.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying most people don't give a shit about the processor as long as it does what it's supposed to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
anyways, that's just my peeve, I guess.
Look, I'm gonna give it another go. I liked last year's one. I had some issues with mine.
So you're getting the Flip or the Razor?
I'm gonna give it a go. Yes, I'm gonna give it another try.
I really want to try the 50 Ultra because I had last year's 2023.
Yeah, you liked it.
It was really good. It's just the cameras just weren't there, but actually the phone overall was very good.
Good, yeah. So I'm gonna give the Razor another crack and see if it fulfills my need. But another phone that's coming out, I think, really soon after this, is the Z Fold series and the Z Flip series by Samsung. Now, let's talk about leaks first of all. So earlier today, I think it was today.
It was either today or yesterday. I can't remember.
Yeah. So we had the Galaxy Buds 3 leak earlier today, and this is their third generation of their version of the AirPod, I guess we could call it. We don't know too much about it. Basically, we know that it's a Galaxy Buds 3. I dig the transparent top. I like it. I
like the Bud look. I don't like this new let's be like Apple kind of look. But anyways,
yeah. I mean, we don't know much about it.
Can I tell you something though? You see how it has a stem now? Do you think that's Apple's been notorious for the best like call quality, like talking voice? I bet that's why they're doing it, because they're finding out that when you have a big thing in your ear, it doesn't have anything pointed towards your mouth. It's just not as good. I think that's what the main reason is, but that's just me. It might be engineering kind of thing.
So Galaxy Buds 3, which I'm assuming will launch with the Z Fold series and the Z Flip series. But another alarming article that came out today was some of the specifications of the Z Fold 6. So Z Fold 6, it's being unveiled on the 10th of July. So that's about 20 days from now. But we've had a few kind of leaked information and some information here which might not necessarily be a good thing. So this is what we know so far. There's going to be a new form factor. It looks like it might be a slightly wider cover display, but
not by much.
Not by much. We're talking centimeters.
It's like they're slowly easing us into this more wider screen.
So it's lighter, which is good. A little bit wider, which is good. But not much else has changed besides the processor. They're saying, from what I understand here in this thing, they're saying that the cameras are going to be the same. So we have a 50 megapixel rear camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 10 megapixel telephoto, 3 times optical zoom. Why? Why?
What competition do they have?
Exactly.
There's no competition.
One to challenge them. Yeah.
Here's the problem. Apple's going to eventually do something. It's just like AI. They waited and waited and waited and waited.
Yes.
They don't think foldables are the future, but I guarantee you they're going to release something, and then Samsung's going to be scrambling. You know exactly what it's going to be. Now these are leaks. We could be wrong.
Now, look, for me, the two biggest things for me about the Z Fold 5 that I couldn't get through past were their cover screen being too narrow, which a lot of people would agree with me, and the cameras. And I've said all along, when you're paying, almost $2,000 for a foldable phone, you should have the best cameras. And it looks like Samsung again is going with this fucking bullshit same camera setup that they've had.
I've had
from last year.
The last Fold I had was the 4. I skipped the 5. It just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And I never had complaints about the cameras. Now, were they the best? Hell no. But they should have been better, but they definitely weren't terrible.
No. And look, you can get by. I'll just say that much. But if you're trying to find that one all-in device where you go, okay, I want it all in one spot. I want it all.
Buy an iPhone.
Then you buy an iPhone. Yeah.
Because if it ain't iPhone, it ain't shit.
But alarming here is 10 megapixel front facing camera and that same 4 megapixel under display thing.
I don't get that. I know they went off screen, but you know what? How many people actually use that camera anyway?
No, but why have it?
Put it in there.
Yeah, exactly. Save some fucking money. Like, don't put it in there then.
Or give us something special where that camera's at.
I mean, apparently no Wi-Fi 7 is what I'm hearing.
That has to be that comes with the Gen 3.
I'm apparently from leaks, and not in this article, but I read this earlier somewhere else. They were saying no Wi-Fi 7.
Do you have Wi-Fi 7 in your house?
No, I know it doesn't matter.
So maybe it's not a big deal.
so a navy pink and silver shadow are the colors apparently, but a same size battery.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what foldable I'm looking forward to?
The Pixel Fold.
Yeah, I'm still rocking the Fold 1. Everyone complains about it. It isn't the best, but the form factor is perfect for me. So we'll see.
And
the kicker.
They're raising the price by $100, which is like $800 in Canada. I don't understand, man. Samsung, you're fucking on crack. What is going on?
It's not just, I think all companies are raising prices, or they're taking away and keeping it the same price. I just think it's the way the world is now. It's terrible.
Do you want to know what the funniest thing about this whole fucking Z Fold 6 story is?
Sure, what?
And OnePlus absolutely cashed in on this.
Oh, I know.
OnePlus said this week when these came out, these leaked details, they said, you know what? Fuck you, Samsung. We will give you up to $800 for your Z Fold 5, which would bring the price of their OnePlus Open currently on sale down to $599.
Well,
if you trade in your device.
What is Samsung going to give you for your Z Fold 5 to trade in for the Z Fold 6?
But if it's $2,100, you're going to maybe get $1,000.
Well, $2,100 for the top of the line. So I'm saying you get the mid-range one. It'll probably be, it says there, what, $2,100? Is that what it says?
Yeah, so it's 18 for the 256, 2,000 for the 512, or 22 for the 1 terabyte.
So let's say they have a special where it's $19.99 for the. You know what they're probably going to do? They're going to say $18.99, and we'll give you a free memory upgrade. So you get the 512 for $18.99. We're going to give you $1,000 for your 5. You're paying $900 for a phone that's going to be supported a hell of a lot longer.
But is it better than the OnePlus Open?
In terms of durability, maybe, because it's been around longer. They had their 6th generation. They've perfected the.
Is it better than the OnePlus Open?
I didn't like the OnePlus Open.
No, I know you didn't like the OS, the form factor, whatever. I get that.
The form factor. I didn't like the form factor. Yeah.
But is it going to be better than the OnePlus Open?
We shall see.
And this is what I'm getting at, right?
I think OnePlus is going to pause. They're not going to release an Open 2 this year because it did so well with the first one. Why put the cart before the horse?
Yeah.
Sell out what you got. Perfect the next one, and then they should be doing, both these companies every 2 years should be doing something like this.
Exactly. I honestly think that folding phones should be on a 2-year cycle. The technology's not there yet for it to be better.
The problem is do those screens last 2 years?
Well, that's
See, well, I mean,
you know what? I would rather it be $100 more expensive with an extended warranty and a 2-year cycle upgrade.
Yeah.
And go, okay, you know what? I can swallow that fucking punch.
Why don't us tech disruptors reach out to a Chinese manufacturer and let's just make our own foldable device?
Honestly, you just give me some plywood, some nails, some glue.
Did you say plywood?
Plywood, yeah. I'm gonna make a fucking
rubber
amazing
bands?
folding phone. Some rubber bands.
Do you remember MacGyver?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to MacGyver this shit.
Some paper clips, some rubber band, and you can make whatever you need.
You give me some fucking computer chips and a paper clip, I'll make that fucking thing hum. Anyway, so Samsung, stop smoking the pipe.
Whatever you're smoking.
Bring us something. Now, couple final little stories here that might be worth bringing to the attention of our lovely tech people. So we talked about this earlier in the week about how, actually this was the last show we talked about this, how we're kind of interested in minimalist tech. And we've talked about the daylight computer, the minimal phone. Mm-hmm. Now this was revealed or unveiled this week, and this is the Light Phone 3. So Light Phone has been around for, I would say, almost 10 years now.
This is like their 3rd generation, right?
Correct. So third generation.
I know it says 3, but it might be their 4th generation. I can't remember.
So from what I remember, the 1st and 2nd generation of the Light Phone, I believe, and don't quote me on this, please correct me if I get it wrong, was a companion device, meaning that you had your smartphone and it kind of like paired up with it, and you took this out on weekends.
I don't think it did. I think it was a standalone device that's supposed to keep you away from your main phone.
Okay, maybe you're right. Anyway, my point is that they've released this, and it kind of looks interesting. It's got a big speaker grill at the bottom. It's got a scrolly wheel, which I honestly think is going to be. I think that's going to be the new tech thing we're going to see.
I hate to say this, the CMF. We talk about nothing. CMF nothing phone one coming out. It's got that. It's got that wheel. It looks just like their earbuds. Oh man!
You know what? I'm all for it. I love the concept of a fucking scroll wheel, and I wish
you gotta reach out to the box. You have to.
I know. Yeah.
And this is different. It looks different. It's not like every other phone. Now, it's an LED screen, right? It's not e-ink anymore, right?
I don't remember actually.
I thought
it might, it's OLED. Black OLED. Yeah.
Black so it's going to be a decent screen. It's not going to have that weird refresh of e-ink screens.
And probably a lot more contrasty and bright, which is also good. But there's NFC.
If you read the article, it says no apps. How are you going to do NFC payment if there's no apps? Because Apple and Google require.
So here's what I believe it is. They have a handful of apps that they want you to use, like a music app, an alarm app, a music note, whatever.
Right. Kind of like Rabbit R1 or.
But I'm going to assume the NFC chip is just a universal thing.
Yeah, but it's just right there. Embedded NFC chip for making payments.
Yeah. So you put your, I don't know, details on the light phone, and then you just tap away. At least I think that's how it works.
I don't know if that's how it works, but
I have no idea. I
don't either. I'm not a developer,
it's an interesting concept, and I kind of like. I get more and more into this black and white aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why all of a sudden this fascinates me so much. But
here's my fear for you: you're going to buy something like this, and you're going to find that you're wanting more.
Oh, 100%. Look, I know it's going to have issues that I know like the camera is going to be probably garbage. The battery probably won't be great. The speakers might be just okay. But again, as I've said to you on the last show, $399.
That's not a bad price. I mean,
$300. Oh, sorry, no. Oh, fuck. $800. No.
However, Light is running a early adopters. The phone's available for $400 for a limited time. To a crowdfund mass production?
Right.
Where the hell is the crowdfunding for that?
That's a spicy meatball. That's a very fucking expensive device.
Not for $400 if you get the early.
$400 is good. I mean, I like the rivets, the screw was in the back. I like the look, man. The look is cool. It looks like it has an on-display fingerprint scanner, which again is kind of cool. Probably garbage, but it's kind of cool to see.
So I'm looking at the website, and you can pre-order the Light Phone 3 right now for $399. Estimated delivery for pre-orders January 2025.
Whew.
The problem is it's a good deal, but do you really want to wait that long?
Yeah.
In the society we live in now, we want it now.
That's why
Google and Samsung say, "Oh, order it now, you get it in a week."
Yeah. And that I kind of like the minimal phone. Like we've talked about the minimal phone with a keyboard. I kind of like
really want to try that.
I think that's kind of an interesting proposition too. But again, I think this might be the year where minimalist tech kind of wins. I think people are starting to I was reading an article just earlier today about how people are going, like regular people are going back to flip phones because they hate the distractions that these devices.
Overload. Yeah, sensory overload. Like I have a watch. Every time it vibrates, I'm looking at it, even though it's like a front door opened or something.
Yeah,
you're constantly looking at something. Do we need to be? Do you remember when you were little? I know you're young like me.
Yeah,
but there was a time when we didn't have cell phones, and we had phones where you had
doorbell
to pick up, and someone would pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I'm already on the phone."
Yeah.
We'd dial in for, not me, I'm not that old, but dial up internet. I think this is something, honestly, the more we talk about it, the more I want to try a phone like this.
Exactly.
I think I had to pick between Minimal. Minimal is a crowdfunding first gen device.
Yes.
I think I'd go with the Light Phone 3 just on the fact that they've been around a little longer. But I like the idea of the Minimal phone better.
Yes, I like the keyboard. Yes. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's a flash to the Blackberries and all of that. Now, we're gonna one last article here today. We have to say a quick rest in peace to one of the very first earphone manufacturers on the market, and that is, they're a very popular brand among people. Jabra. Now, Jabra was the very first pair of wireless earphones that I ever owned.
They made good stuff for sure.
They have some of the best microphones pickup in a wireless earphone. Sound quality is also very, very good.
Outside of Apple, they were some of their biggest competitors.
100%. Yeah. And like before the AirPods, Jabra was the shit. They were the ones, right? Before they were on this, before a lot of other companies were. But Jabra has decided to bow out of the earphone, headphone.
It's just too saturated. There's no money.
It is. And they can't compete.
What does Jabra make besides earbuds?
Microphones, headsets, like for marketing.
Like
audio. Yeah.
Like Sony. They make tons of other products, so they can sacrifice a little bit to make earbuds or headphones.
Yeah.
All these companies, Apple makes other devices. Jabra just can't keep up.
And look, we will just kind of like pour one out for them. We'll say thank you very much, Jabra. For anyone that's listening out, Jabra, thank you very much for pushing the envelope when it comes to wireless earphones. And for those of you who ever owned a Jabra product, you would be able to appreciate just how good they are, and especially their sports editions of their earphones, which were waterproof and amazing. But thank you very much, Jabra, and thank you very much to all of our listeners. That actually brings us to the end of another Tech Disruptors podcast. This is
Jason.
And I'm Darren, and we are live on YouTube weekly. Thursday nights are our regular nights, but sometimes we like to mix it up. Sometimes it's Friday. Sometimes we do it when we feel the need to. Whenever there's tech that needs to be told, tech stories that need to be told. But you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all of the great places you find excellent podcasts. And if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you head over to YouTube, look up the Tech Disruptors podcast, hit that subscribe button, and you'll get notifications when our next show is going to be. But in the meantime, keep buying tech, keep loving tech, enjoy what you have, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.